Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you, talking to you all about UFC 184, the big UFC pay-per-view that's going to be going down February 28th from the Staples Center. UFC 184, Ronda Rousey versus Cat Zingano. Lots of backstage things coming up about this show. Basically, it was only a few years ago that Dana White swore up and down that there would never be a women's fight inside of UFC. Then the women's division really won over Dana. He started bringing the girls in, and they started really delivering on the main stage, really being, Ronda Rousey stepping up and showing that she could be a major star inside of MMA and UFC. And this is not the first pay-per-view that Ronda Rousey is, really main evented, but, normally there's a real strong card built around her. And if you were going to be ordering UFC 184, Rousey versus Zingano, you're going to be doing this just for the one main reason of you want to see Ronda Rousey fight. Basically, there were some fights that were supposed to be on this show, mainly being Chris Weidman going up against Vitor Belfort to serve as the main event. Of course, this was a match that was supposed to happen at UFC 183, and it was also bumped to UFC 181. However, in late January, it was announced that Weidman was pulling out of this fight, citing that he had sustained an injury during training. Basically, UFC was forced to bump Ronda up into the main event, and basically they weren't able to save this with any kind of an undercard. Basically, you have Holly Holm going up against Pennington. There's lots of talk about Holly Holm being a big star inside of UFC. Maybe she could be one of the girls to step up and really show Ronda Rousey a tough fight in the main event. Ronda Rousey is somebody who loves to fight. She's going to do this for fun. She's going to make a lot of money while she's doing it. Every time a new opponent comes up, it's always going to be the toughest opponent that Ronda Rousey's always faced, is the way the UFC always builds it. Cat Zingano that's out there. Lots of people like to talk about Ronda Rousey's outside interests, outside of fighting. There was always talk, when she made the Expendables. Of course, she's doing a lot of press for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition that came out that she was featured in. She does a lot of commercials. She's involved heavily with the Reebok advertising deal that just came out with her and John Jones being sort of the faces of UFC of this deal that people picked up and they're really running with right now. People are thinking that if Holly Holm is able to win this fight, she's not one of the best girls that are in there, but she is a very marketable girl and somebody that they would love if Rousey was to lose to somebody to pass the torch in the women's division. There's always her, of course. Ronda Rousey. The one time that I really believe that she had a tough fight that was going to be on her hands was a past Olympic fighter that was Sarah McMahon at UFC 170. Of course, that was a fight that lasted all of about a minute, but when McMahon really did her pre-fight interview and she talked about how she'd been training for this fight for 3 years, and I don't know if she slipped up or meant what she meant what she said when she said that she wished she had more time to train for this fight when she'd already been training for 3 years. It sort of showed me that she knew that she was going to be walking into this. Miesha Tate is the one person that's really pushed Ronda Rousey the farthest. Basically, that was a fight at 168. Which went into the third round, but Ronda Rousey has had a long streak of all of her matches except for one, basically being able to be ended in the first round. The McMahon fight just went over a minute. Alexa Davis went 16 seconds at UFC 175. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think Cat Zingano is going to be coming in there, even though she is undefeated. And I don't think she's going to be having the best chance in this fight. I think that Vegas has this already as Rousey being a 9-1 favorite, but Cat Zingano has ran through some of the biggest names, beating Nunes, Tate, Pennington, and other names along the way. But this is going to be the good one. Definitely a stacked main event with nothing really on the undercard. So the story of my life when it comes to UFC and these long shows with not knowing anybody. But I keep watching these shows, hoping that somebody jumps off, and I really like following them. And we'll see where we go from there.